passed away. You think he's come for me?
Maybe us, plural.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most significant scenes that didn't make the final cut.
So many flowers, my lord, each wanting to grow the tallest, bloom the brightest.
Warning, spoilers will be discussed. Number 10, Christopher's Party, The Sopranos. In a series full of brutal death scenes, Christopher's might be one of the hardest to watch. Throughout The Sopranos, Tony treated the young mobster like a son. So, when he meets his death at Tony's hands, it feels like the ultimate betrayal.
Sweetheart, there's been an accident. We were coming back from the city and Christopher's dead.
Oh my God!
This season 6 deleted scene adds a new layer of context to that chilling scene. In the clip, released during The Sopranos' 25th anniversary, Tony and Carmela visit Christopher's house and realize they don't know anyone there.
And in this corner, Joe Lewis and her husband Mark. Joe did the publicity for the movie, but I don't think you met.
No.
It's clear to Tony that Christopher is making a life outside of the mob, and, more importantly, a life without him. After the Sopranos leave, Tony and Christopher complain about the unwelcome encounter separately, furthering the familial rift that would lead to Christopher's demise.
You ever think we could all use a break? I get bored with it. I could cry.
But you don't. You do what's necessary. Who are these people?
Number 9, He Loved You So Much, Grey's Anatomy. When the husband of a former patient takes revenge, Seattle Grace Hospital is hit with unprecedented tragedy.
Run.
The two-part season 6 finale ends with surgeons Charles Percy and Reed Adamson among the dead, and many others injured. In one of his final moments, Charles asks fellow doctor Miranda Bailey to tell Reed that he has always had feelings for her.
Can you tell her anyway? Can you find her and tell her I loved her?
Reed is already dead at this point, so it is seemingly an impossible request, but one which Bailey is able to fulfill in a deleted scene. In a heartbreaking sequence, Bailey unzips Reed's body bag and tells the deceased doctor that Charles loved her so much.
And he loved you. He loved you so much.
Had it been included, the scene would have made the already emotional episode all the more devastating. Number 8, Dee's Defense, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The gang praising Dee for a job well done is a rare sight to behold.
Whoa! Hey, that was great. That was so convincing. That was really good.
You're supposed to be my lawyer,
I'm
Charlie.
on the side
You're
of
supposed to
justice,
be on
okay?
my side.
It's a shame we lost this surprising moment from Reynolds versus Reynolds. The episode centers around an absurd dispute between Frank and Dennis, which spirals into an even more absurd trial.
Well, common sense would tell you that eating a bowl of cereal while operating a car is it's reckless. It's moronic. One might even call it donkey-brained.
Dee is cast as her brother's lawyer in the dispute, but doesn't actually get to do much debating in the episode. This oversight would have been rectified with this deleted scene, in which she defends Dennis the only way she knows how.
Dennis Reynolds is not a good man. He's not a kind man. He's not a decent or an adequate man by any measure of a human being.
Objection.
The assertion that she would only defend Dennis if she knew he was right, because she doesn't like him enough to do so otherwise, is even enough to temporarily sway Charlie and Mac to their side.
Why would I choose to be on his side?
I don't know. Why?
I'll tell you why. Because as much as it makes me sick to say it, to have these words come out of my mouth, he's innocent.
Number 7, Saul gives Jesse a gun, Breaking Bad.
Those 10 guys in lockup, they're no longer numbered among the living. God rest. What? Yeah.
Following Breaking Bad's 5th season, Sony approached the series' creative team and asked them to make a scene exclusively for the release of the DVD. They agreed, and decided to create a moment that could have easily fit into one of the season's episodes, had they been given more time.
At the end, Jesse's scared of Walt. So we kind of wanted to see how Jesse came to go from being, an ex-partner who's leery of this guy to being kind of actively afraid of him.
Titled Chicks and Guns, the sequence features Jesse and Skinny Pete living it up before Saul interrupts with distressing news. He informs Jesse that Walt has orchestrated the death of several prisoners and not so discreetly hands him a gun for protection.
I have no idea what's in that bag, okay? A little fairy angel asked me to drop it here. It's not a sack of lollipops. So, come on. Back off. I'm trying to do you a favor here.
Be straight with me. Why are you giving me a gun?
This scene would have not only informed Jesse's heightened fear at the end of Gliding Over All, but would have provided an uncharacteristically serious Saul moment to precede Better Call Saul. Number 6, Rose's daughter, Lost.
I just wanted to. Are you alright, Rose?
The discovery of Sun's pregnancy is one of many dramatic reveals in Lost's acclaimed second season. Although the storyline is more or less paused for the season's 19th episode, SOS, a deleted scene featured on the show's DVD release, reveals that this was not always the case.
How you feeling? Some days. Today's good.
In a touching moment, Sun approaches Rose on the beach and asks how she's doing, following her argument with Bernard. After a brief reply, the conversation turns to children, and Rose reveals that she had a daughter who passed.
Do you have any children, Rose?
I did. A daughter. She passed.
This is a bit of a backstory about the character that does not exist outside of this cutscene, allowing us a rare glimpse into Rose's life before the crash. Number 5. Father and Son Video Game, Community. Have you ever wondered why the final scene in Digital Estate Planning takes place in Greendale, despite the study group's expulsion?
A baby. I wasn't expecting this. Guess we'll have to support it.
The scene was actually a last-minute replacement for the episode's true ending, which would have seen Abed gifting Pierce an edited copy of the game played throughout the episode. In this version of the game, Pierce would have simply played catch with his father, Cornelius.
So you see, Pierce, turns out you were right. Video games are important. Worst son ever!
It would have been a touching moment for Pierce and Abed, who rarely got the chance to interact, complete with a hug. Unfortunately, Chevy Chase exited the set before it could be filmed.
Pierce?
Just let me die.
This disappointed showrunner Dan Harmon, who considered the scene one of the most important moments of the season. Number 4. Beccas Disappearance, The Boys. Billy Butcher hates soups. Initially, this was due to his assumption that Homelander had something to do with the disappearance of his wife, Becca.
Forgive me, love. Forgive me for doing this in your name.
We now know that the relationship wasn't always perfect, but a deleted flashback from the show's second season would have added some context to Butcher's dedication to her. It would have been an unexpectedly poignant moment for the series, in which the pair discussed starting a family. Turning towards Butcher's future, another deleted scene, this time from the show's third season, showed that Butcher was actively lying about his impending death to his teammates. This moment would recontextualize how he interacts with the boys following his diagnosis, as he would be forced to actively conceal his worst symptoms.
How long ago?
Months. 12, 18 on the outside.
Number 3. Tormund taunts Sir Aliser, Game of Thrones. The Wildlings have been at odds with Castle Black for centuries.
You know what I think we should do with you? Instead of putting food in your belly and a roof over your head.
Probably something I wouldn't like very much.
When Jon Snow suggests giving them refuge within Black Walls, Sir Aliser questions his leadership. In a deleted scene, prominent Wildling warrior Tormund taunts the First Ranger, noting that he must no longer be in charge if he has no power to oust them.
You must no longer be in charge then.
Though it's a small scene, its inclusion would have added to Aliser's reservations about both Snow and the Wildlings, and likely influenced his mutiny. Back in the show's third season, another significant deleted scene gave viewers added insight into Tywin and Pycelle's dynamic. It revealed that Pycelle played a big hand in the Lannisters' rise to power, and has been playing up his supposed weakness.
Since the time I convinced the Mad King to open his gates to you, I have served the interests of the House of Lannister, unfailingly.
Yeah. Number 2. No longer a Time Lord, Doctor Who. Completely rewriting the history of Doctor Who's protagonist, The Timeless Children was understandably met with mixed reviews. But interestingly, it was not the first time the show's writers considered the possibility that the Doctor was not a Time Lord.
Are you frightened yet? No. You should be. You should be. It nearly beat me.
The Seventh Doctor's final episode originally ended with a scene in which the Doctor claimed he had evolved and no longer considered himself a part of the species. It would have been a huge bombshell, especially when you consider the 16-year gap between the episode and the series' 2005 revival.
I'm the Doctor, by the way. What's your name?
Rose.
Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life.
In 2017, Moffat also considered playing with the Doctor's history. While writing Twice Upon a Time, he almost included an explanation for the wardrobe change during the first Doctor's regeneration, but ultimately decided against it.
What do you know of regeneration? Are you a Time Lord?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Steve's death. Stranger Things. After redeeming himself in the last half of the show's first season, Steve Harrington quickly became a fan favorite. It may surprise you to know that the character originally had a much shorter lifespan.
See Steve in season 1, you're like, that guy's gonna get killed off. It's so
That was the
wonderfully
plan.
surprising. Oh, was the plan
That
to
was
kill
the
Steve?
plan. In an interview with GQ, Joe Keery disclosed that, in the original script, Steve only became more antagonistic as the season went on, eventually assaulting Nancy at a party. This dark turn would have been followed by his death rather than his redemption.
Steve, get out!
Wait, what? What is going on?
You have 5 seconds to get out of here.
Okay, it's a joke. Stop. Put the
I'm
gun
doing
down.
this for you.
Luckily, Keery's performance caused the Duffer Brothers to look at the character in a new light, and they rewrote him to be the Steve fans know and love today. Given his significance to the story, it's hard to imagine what the show would be like without him.
This is crazy. This is actually crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Are there any scenes in your favorite shows that you think deserve a little more context or explanation? Let us know in the comments below.
It's gonna be okay.
They are?
But there's some lost revenue you're gonna have to make up. And maybe it'd be wise to relocate for a while.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.